2019 will go down as having some of the most memorable and laughable box office flops that we've ever seen. Of course, we've had some of the biggest flops even in this past just couple months alone of the year, where we've seen movies like Cats and Charlie's Angels and Terminator Dark Fate, and all of these types of movies just absolutely doing horribly in the box office. And we're going to take a look at that for one final time today, just to kind of close out this year, because I would say that it's been a pretty good year for people like you and me who are normal people who like to go see movies just to escape, everyday life for a little bit and just have an enjoyable time. Unfortunately, Hollywood isn't in the business of giving us those types of movies anymore. They would rather give us movies that are filled with political agendas and their own identity politics and their own just nonsense. As we know, some of the biggest flops this year have been some pretty big, just outrageous feminist films. And so I would take that as an absolute win as well. Now, as you might notice, the setup is a little bit different right now, and that's because I'm currently in the process of moving to my new PC from my old setup. So things are going to be a little bit weird in this video because I have to look over to this computer when my camera's over here and stuff. So, for people who are regular viewers of mine, it might look a little bit different, but just bear with me. We'll get through this video, and then hopefully by the time the next video comes around, I'll be in my new setup. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the biggest flops of this year. So, we have, obviously, Dark Phoenix, which, it wasn't necessarily a feminist film necessarily, but it was a film where I feel like there's kind of two categories going on here, okay? We have one category of films where Hollywood is just out of touch with what general audiences want, what we want when we go see movies in the theaters. We don't care about these types of movies, and, types of movies like Dark Phoenix are movies that are just badly written, that are just lazily made, and Hollywood does continue to seem like they're getting more and more lazy as they're making these movies. They feel like there is no passion when it comes to making movies anymore in Hollywood, unless you have a film like Joker, where you can absolutely feel the passion coming from Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips right off the screen there. But movies like Dark Phoenix, it just feels like just kind of a, okay, we gotta slap a final chapter onto the X-Men saga before Disney buys us out, so let's just toss this one out there, and, whatever happens, I guess. But, so that's kind of the case with Dark Phoenix. And then we have Cats, which, Cats is just a nightmare. We're not going to even worry about Cats right now, because Cats is probably going to be one of the biggest flops of this entire year. Deservedly so, because Cats is just horrendous in every single way possible. Whoever decided to make Cats is the craziest person, and is so delusional. They don't know what they're talking about. They should never be allowed to make a movie again. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna be a cancel culture person, but at the same time, it's kind of a joke. Like, do you really, you thought that Cats was a good idea? Really? Okay, whatever. Anyway, so we have that going on as well. And then we get into some of the other ones like Terminator Dark Fate, which, as we all know, is kind of the film that kind of started the whole avalanche of feminist box office flops at the end of this year. We've had 5 feminist box office flops just in the past couple months of the end of the year alone. But yeah, Terminator Dark Fate, ever since they started to talk about this film, they kind of made it sound like that it was going to be a very feminist-driven film, that they weren't really even interested in trying to tell a good story or anything like that. They were more focused on trying to push that sort of feminist agenda in this movie, and, even had, the director of the movie, saying things like, well, yeah, the feminist characters in this movie are gonna scare the F out of the men. And it's like, okay, whoa, whatever. Anyway, so continuing on, we have Goldfinch, which I don't really know anything about, to be honest, and Gemini Man, and then Richard Jewell. All three of those movies are just kind of movies that, I don't really know too much about them. I know that Richard Jewell is Clint Eastwood's new movie, and I have been wanting to see it. I just haven't had a chance to go see it yet, but, it wasn't really a story that people really cared about, so nobody went to go see it, and I kind of think that's kind of the same case with, Goldfinch and Gemini Man. These are just movies that people are just like, I'll just wait until like comes out on Netflix or something, and then I might watch it, maybe, you know. So anyway, that's kind of the explanation for why I think those ones did bad. And then we have like Charlie's Angels, which, you know, Elizabeth Banks, my favorite person in the world. She, you know, of course, kind of made this the man's fault that the movie failed. You know, this she went off the deep end with this movie. She really did, and because of that, I think she kind of committed suicide with her own movie. I really believe that. I really think that she opening her mouth the way that she did, and you know, talking about Charlie's Angels and blaming it on the men for the failure of the movie and all that type of stuff, the same type of nonsense that we're seeing over and over again, especially with movies that are coming out right now like Little Women, where, you know, it's the men's fault. It's the patriarchy. Anyway, so, you know, I think that Elizabeth Banks definitely helped burn some of her own bridges. But on top of that, of course, Charlie's Angels, just as a movie itself, was always going to be more of a feminist type of movie. It has sort of a Me Too type of message to the movie as well. And that's just stuff that people just don't care about. You know, we don't want to go see that when we go see movies. It's just, sorry, Hollywood. Don't know what to tell you, but I hope that you kind of figure out by the end of this year that, you know, with all of these feminist movies that you're pushing out, that they're just not getting supported. And they're not getting supported by men, and they're not getting supported by women either. Are they? Are they, Hollywood? You know, women make up what, like 51% of the population? More of the population than men do. Yet these movies are still flopping. Interesting. Interesting indeed, isn't it? Anyway, so we have just a bunch of horrible movies like Ugly Dolls and Midway and Playmobil and all that type of stuff. And, yeah. Of course, Black Christmas was another feminist flop from this year as well. And I think that, you know, the biggest achievement of this entire year is Joker. Can we all just agree that Joker was just the crown achievement of this year? Well done to everyone involved in making that movie, and I hope that they really kind of set the course for Hollywood moving forward, that Hollywood will take a look at Joker and they'll be like, you know what? This is what people want, right? Like, people don't want to see the type of crap that you've been giving us for the past 3 months in the theaters. We just don't want to see that type of nonsense. We don't care about your political nonsense. We don't care about your woke agendas or anything like this, Hollywood. We just don't want it. Okay? Normal people like me, like you watching this video right now. Hollywood, we don't want these types of movies, okay? I don't know what else to tell you, Hollywood, but you know, I'm okay. Let me just say this. I'm glad that people this year are starting to speak more and more with the wallets. And I think we're going to see this more and more. I think we're going to see people starting to speak more and more with their wallets, which is the best way that we can create change in Hollywood if we want to. Because, you know, Hollywood, for all of their, you know, their woke signaling and virtue signaling and all that type of stuff, at the end of the day, they still want the money. Which is why Hollywood, you know, Rise of Skywalker being a perfect example, they were like, oh, this movie is so diverse. Look how diverse we are with our Rise of Skywalker movie and our Force Awakens movie and all that type of stuff. And Star Wars is finally getting to the place of diversity that it needs to. Representation, everyone. And then, you know, they released the movie in China and they take John Boyega off the poster in China. So do you think that Hollywood really cares about diversity? Or do they care about the money at the end of the day? Of course they're going to care about the money at the end of the day. Which is why, if you want to hit Hollywood, if you want to fight back against Hollywood, speak with your wallet. Don't go see crap like this. Don't go continue to watch crap like Charlie's Angels or Terminator Dark Fate or any of these types of movies. If you actually want Hollywood to change, support the movies that deserve to be supported and don't support the movies that don't deserve to be supported. And if you really want to see those movies still, wait till it comes out on DVD or find some other way to watch it. Anyway, so with that being said, you know, we have like Charlie's Angels, which in total has still only made $57 million, and that's probably about the amount that it's going to make in total. Still not, no, this movie is still not making any money because, you know, it had a budget of $48 million, but that's not including marketing and all that type of stuff, which in total it would have to make around, I think I saw something like 90 million or something for it to break even. It's only made 57 million. This movie is an absolute flop. We have Terminator Dark Fate, which is another flop. It only made 261 million worldwide. It needed to make like 400 million, I think, to break even. Yeah. or no, 300 million, sorry. And obviously that didn't happen. It's about 40 million short. And Cats, good old Cats. Good old Cats. Anyway, so, you know, worldwide it's made 38 million, but it had a budget of 95 million, which in total it would have to make like around 180 million to break even. Not gonna happen. This movie is absolutely not making 180 million. It's just not gonna happen. Anyway, so, you know, oh man, Cats, good old Cats, man. What a I don't know, what a movie, I guess. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Happy New Year's as well, and if you are new around here, consider subscribing to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. This video is a little bit weird because I'm having to look over here at this screen and the camera's over here, so it's just kind of a little bit, it's kind of throwing me off a little bit, but I hope you guys enjoyed anyway. And like I said, subscribe if you're new around here. I would greatly appreciate that. 2020 is our year here at Josiah Rises. We are going to absolutely kick butt. I was going to say the other word, but I don't want to get demonetized. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you all very soon in another video. Talk to you later. Bye.
With my heart